Oh, I got it. Okay. So I'm holding Esther's phone on Zoom. We had a few technical difficulties, but I'm sure by next week they'll be all done. We're going to see if we can hear Phil Pearson, who's graciously stepped in for Reverend Mark Hicks. And so Phil, if you can hear me, welcome from snowy Reno. And if you notice, our prayer tree, Christmas prayer tree is up, and it's awaiting more of your prayers. So those in the room are invited again to write their prayers and thank yous on the tags and then hang them on the tree. And if you are on Zoom, please send your prayers and thank yous on chat. We will transpose them onto a tag and put them on the tree also. And then on New Year's Day, they will all be collected and sent to Silent Unity for another 30 days of prayer. And I want to say, speaking of New Year's Day, we are here in person, January 1st, and it's Burning Bowl Sunday. And Claudia and I will be celebrating the new year with our Burning Bowl release ceremony. So I hope you can celebrate with us in person. And who knows, there might be treats because, you know, we just haven't had enough this month. So, all right. So let me just start off. Thank you again for joining us. We know who you are. You are a child of God. And right now, let's be filled with love as we come together to do what we do best, and that's pray and center ourselves in God. And even though we are in different places, we are all together, connected in spirit, in thought, in love. For as Jesus, our way show affirmed, whenever two or more gather in my name, I am there. I am there. And today we entered the third Sunday of Advent, and we celebrate love. And love is everywhere because love is our divine nature and calls to us. Love is already ours. Love is neither conditional or unconditional. Love is only love. So we don't need a great stimulus to feel love, to give love, to be love. When we live in gratefulness and when we are thankful, we live in love and we express in many ways that essence of the Christ within us. So if you've been reading the Advent booklet like I have, let me hold this up here, the Christmas, A Christmas of Light and Peace, you might have read what Reverend David Bryan Adams writes about expressing love. And for him, it's music. And music can open our hearts to the unspoken language of our true nature, and that's love. Love, like music, requires no words to soothe our hearts and minds. And music is one of the many ways love expresses in and as us and through us. So on this third Sunday in Advent, let's express love with song. And in your wings of song, let's go a little peppy. And today we're going to start with 279, Go Tell It on the Mountain. I don't know if the Zoomers will be able to hear Sharon playing. Beg your pardon? Oh, 269, thank you. 269, Go Tell It on the Mountain. And I invite you to stand if you're comfortable. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself too, because you don't want to hear me singing.
Oh, tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. While shepherds gather watching over silent flocks by night, behold, throughout the heavens there shone a holy light. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. The shepherds feared and trembled when all of the earth rang out the angel's voice. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born. Up in the lowly manger, the humble Christ was born. And God sent us salvation that blessed us Christmas morn. Go tell it on the mountain, over the hills and everywhere. Go tell it on the mountain that Jesus Christ is born.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay, good work. So speaking of love, let's go right into today's daily word, which is love. I answer the call to love, embracing the world. Love is both a noun and a verb. More than just a feeling, it is one of the highest intentions I can hold and one of the most sacred actions I can take. Love is the name and the nature of God, the pulsation of oneness from the center of my heart to the furthest reaches of earthly existence. On this third Sunday of Advent, love is also a call to action, an invitation to perceive the world through the Christ presence and live as the love I am. I open my heart and let my love flow forth as kindness, gentleness, and compassion. I stay grounded in the presence of God through my prayers, and I radiate love through my kind words and actions. I trust my loving impulses will reach far and wide. The light and joy I send forth grow and expand to encompass all things. And from 1 John 3:18, little children, let us love not in word or speech, but in truth and action. And let's continue our love with our affirmations that we say together and know to the core of our soul. There is only one presence, one power, one love active in my life, God the good, omnipotent. Should we affirm this together? There is only one presence, one power, and one love active in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And there is only one presence, one power, and one love active in your life, God the good, omnipotent. Let's affirm this together. There is only one presence, one power, and one love active in your life, God the good, omnipotent. And there is only one presence, one power, and one love active in the world today, God the good, omnipotent. Let's affirm together. There is only one presence, one power, one love active in the world today, God the good, omnipotent. And our words and consciousness blesses people and pets whose names are in the prayer box and the prayer requests you hold in your heart, even unspoken. I invite you to place your hand on your heart and whisper their names if you would like. We hold in our hearts prayers for healing for all those in our small but mighty spiritual community. Thank you, God. Amen. All right, so as we have said, and we are in our third of 4 Sundays of Advent season, we are anticipating the coming of Jesus into the world, an inner search of mind and heart to find the Christ within. This is the time and opportunity to show up who we truly are, spiritual beings having a human experience who knows that in essence, we are the Christ child and all connected as one. And as we have shared during the last 2 Sundays, the Advent wreath is traditionally used to represent the spiritual preparation of birth of the Christ child. It's typically a circle of evergreens. It's a symbol of eternity and everlasting love. 4 candles, sometimes 3 purple and 1 pink, as you see here, are arranged on the inside of the wreath, and 1 is lit each Sunday as part of Advent. The first 2 candles have already been lit. They represent faith and hope and peace. And this third Sunday is called Rejoicing Sunday. And for unity, this pink candle represents love. So Claudia, I'm going to ask you to come up if you wouldn't mind and light our love candle. And let me share what Charles Fillmore says about love. He says, the nature of God is love, and we can never deplete the supply of divine love. We practice love as we call forth the divine love in us and open our hearts to share it with others. When we meditate regularly on the love idea in universal mind, praying, divine love manifest in me, divine love manifest in me. This produces a positive love current, which, when sent forth with power, will break up opposing thoughts of hate or unworthiness and render them null and void. Love always calls us higher. It beckons us to expand our compassion and understanding, to treat others as we would wish to be treated. When we live in love, we radiate the essence of the Christ in us. It's not a limited resource that is only given for a certain amount of time or if we've been good. This season, we can choose to give and receive as a continuous flow, to see and treat each other from a higher perspective. We can love boldly and wastefully, knowing we can never deplete the supply of divine love. The more I give, the more I have, for both are infinite. So let's choose to be like this candle of love and bring the light of your true nature into the world. And let's celebrate the Advent season with love and delight of welcoming the Christ child in song. And let's sing, hopefully I got this right, 274. Thank you. 274, Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Again, I invite you to stand if that's comfortable.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Hail the herald angel peace, hail the Son of righteousness. Light and life to all we bring, risen King. Smiling faces glorified, born that men no more may hide. Born to praise the sons of earth, born to give and sacrifice. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Where are my? Okay, quick announcements. I got to put these on for my quick announcements. Okay. Okay, we talked about the prayer tree. So please send your prayers or come in after the service and put your prayers up. Books. If you're looking for that someone special for that special someone, something special for that someone, something special for that special someone. Hey, there you go. Too many Look no further than Karen's book table. And this one today is I Am Love. And I do love this one. And what is so wonderful about this, it's written for children, but as an adult, I love it. And actually, we have done a meditation using this book because there are yoga things for children in the back and meditations. So I urge this one. And I think there's a few of these left in there. I think it's time we give them away. So if there's anything back there and you'd like one, take them. We have a couple weeks left. And we'll be getting, I think, our January 2023. Wow, we're getting those in soon. All right. Final Advent Sunday is next Sunday, and Reverend Phil will be returning with Hopefully Sound, and Esther will be doing our meditation honors. And again, let me mention the Burning Bowl, which is January 1. So I hope all of you can join Claudia and I. And as I said, maybe treats, I don't know. So I think that covers the announcements. Everyone check your weekly newsletter for all the info. And if you are not on the newsletter list, please email capitalcityunity@gmail.com and they will put you on. I think that's all the announcements. Yes, so let's prepare for meditation. And I invite you to celebrate the love and wonder of our inner child, our inner Christ self, and that's singing 268, What Child Is This? And I want you to remain seated because right after we finish singing, Sharon will then go into bringing us into our God space with music. So please stay seated and then we will enjoy Sharon's solo. So 268, What Child Is This? On Mary's love is sleeping, when angels sing with anthem sweet, our shepherds watch weeping. This is Christ the King, shepherds call and angels sing. Taste to bring him love away, the Son of Mary. Oh, God, the sweet and fine, the sweet on oh, in the room of Jesus, this is Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him love, the babe, the Son of Mary. So bring him incense, gold, and myrrh, and peasant king to own him. The King of Kings, salvation bring, let loving hearts adore him. This is Christ the King, whom shepherds call and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him love, the babe, the Son of Mary. Is calm, quiet, calm. Your breathing is now gentle and your mind has settled. You pause. What child is this? Laid on his mother's lap, safe and surrounded with love. What child? Who is that child? It's you. You are the child. You are the child, the Christ child. You are the child of God. We are all children of God. Now, in this knowing, breathe in and let yourself become light and soft. Breathe into your inner energy, the gap where God is. Imagine with each breath that your heart pulses with warm radiance. Notice how this makes you feel. Step into this glow of loving consciousness, this moment and this pause between breaths into your divine spirit, your Christ consciousness. God's love flows over you so fully that there is no space for anything but love, no space for anything but your true self, your God self. Notice how your heart feels and let that feeling travel through your whole body. A feeling of the true one natural emotion God gives us, and that is love. I am one with God, and I am only love. Affirm that to yourself. I am one with God, and I am only love. There are no conditions on God's love. Love is God, and God is only love. Holding on to God's love, affirm to yourself, I am loved. I am love. I give love. I am loved. I am love. I give love. Imagine this warmth and light in your heart connecting you to others in the world. Your heart expands, not to me, but through me. Through you, always and only, God's love. Now, in this quiet space, bring into mind family or friends or the world. Affirm that you are loved. You are love. You are loved. You are love. Love is the heart of wholeness. God's love is the power that integrates, balances your soul. God's love heals and unites. Become a center of love, centered in a circle of protection. In this awareness, no harm can befall you, for anyone coming into your aura is lifted into your loving consciousness. It is only God's love that makes us one with another. I am love. You are love. We are love. I am love. You are love. We are love. My friends, expressing love is your gift to the world, as each one of us is worthy of love in all its forms and expressions. And we are all capable of adding light to the world when we listen to our hearts and choose God's love. Imagine our world when we reach out in kindness, gentleness, creativity, comfort, gratitude, understanding. Imagine our world when we extend ourselves in love. Every day, look for love in every face, every gesture, in every moment. Love your family, friends. Love those you agree with and those you disagree with. Love yourself with abandon. Love with your whole heart, because that's what God's love is, a heart of wholeness. There are too many just mediocre things in life. Love must never be one of them. Love like God loves you, madly, passionately, always. Meet each crisis or fear with love. Be fearless in love. And start each day with your heart open in love. Today, on this third Sunday in Advent, open to love, be love. Thank you, God. Amen. Okay. So are we going to be able to hear Phil? Now our next Phil will be, are we going to hear Phil? I know Zoom can hear Phil, but we in the room cannot hear Phil.
All right.
So,
Can
hi,
you hear
Phil.
me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we're going to do two phones in the room so people can hear. And then you're going to be speaking and the people on Zoom can hear you quite clearly. So we're
All
going to
right.
listen to your message and thank you. Thank you for joining us. And you didn't have to drive over the mountains this time, did you?
No, I did not.
Okay. Okay,
All right, I'm on, right?
you are on.
All right. First of all, Suzanne, let me thank you for doing a wonderful job for in the atmosphere of confusion that seems to be present today. You did a great job. And I want to add a little bit to that confusion to begin with by saying that when I was asked to fill in this Sunday, the point was made that this is the third Sunday of Advent, and that sort of gave me the idea that you've been studying the Advent work, and it's not something that I have traditionally done. Dorothy and I did not make a point of Advent during our ministry. We did that primarily because, as you know, Advent means the coming. And while it has to do with the coming of the um, inner capacities that we need to develop to welcome the birth of Jesus, to celebrate the birth of Jesus, but it also had to do with the coming of Jesus again. And that, as you know, is not something basically that Unity subscribes to, as Jesus is going to come again and sort of take dominion over the earth. And so I've not been a great Advent follower. And all that leads up to the fact that I was not aware and not using the Advent study that you folks have been using. So I went to the internet and I didn't come up with love for this Sunday. I came up with joy. And I think that's something possibly those of you who have followed along have already looked at. But hopefully I can add to your thought of what it means to have joy in your life in terms of welcoming or celebrating the birth of Jesus and welcoming that same spirit into your own life and being. Because from a unity standpoint, while we might not celebrate the coming of Jesus again on earth, we do celebrate the fact that we are in the process of birthing the Christ spirit within ourselves.
What you want?
Hello.
What you want?
There. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay. What I wanted to say about joy actually applies to love and to all the other qualities and faculties of mind. When it comes to being joyful, most people think that the way you get joyful is to experience something in your life that brings you joy. So in a sense, I would say most people would think that joyful is, or the spirit of joy within us is initiated by an outer experience in our lives. And I want to follow on what has already been shared about love is the truth that the only way you can ever experience joy is for you to initiate it. Because the outer things of life might bring one person joy and another person no joy. For instance, as probably most of you have heard me say before when I talked last time, I live in a retirement community. And if I were to say, wouldn't it be a joyous thing to have a home-cooked meal again? And what you would find is you'd get a very mixed response. That some people might well say, oh, yeah, that would be wonderful. And someone else would say, no, that's what I got away from. I don't want to cook any more meals. And so we have 3 meals a day prepared for us here. And it's a joyful thing that you don't have to think about cooking. And the same thing is true about somebody might say, oh, isn't it marvelous to have your own home? It brings such joy in your life to have the beauty of the plantings around the house and all the interior decorating that you've done. It's all so joyful to experience it. Somebody else might respond, no, not for me it isn't. That's why I'm here in this retirement community. I wanted to get away from all the concerns about keeping the house up all the time. And those are just a couple of examples of the fact that joy really isn't a response to outer things, but joy is something that can only really be from when be initiated within ourselves. Joy is indeed an inside job. The truth is, there is no way that we're going to be able to invite God in our lives. We can't celebrate the birth of the Christ, either Jesus or in our own lives, unless we know that joy is an inside job that has to be initiated within ourselves. That's not only true of joy, but it's true of all the faculties of life. They all must be initiated from within ourselves. I have a wonderful book here, and I brought it with the thought that I'd be able to hold it up and you'd all see it. I don't think you're seeing this, are you?
Yeah.
At home? Anyway, this book is something that I'm reading now. I've gotten into the habit of going to bed about an hour early and reading for an hour before I turn the lights off and go to sleep. And I've had fun of reading books that I've had in my library that I've used just perhaps a little bit for reference fact, but I've never really read all the way through. So I've been going through my own library and reading books that meant so much or that I had in my library and wanted to fully appreciate. And this particular book that I'm reading now is called The Future of the Body by Michael Murphy. Michael Murphy is a fabulous person. He is the founder of Esalen, that some of you may be familiar with, that has been a leader in the research of people who are in the cutting edge of science and relating to the work of science and consciousness. But he's also known because he's written several books, and one of the books has to do with the wonderful world of golf. And there was a movie made of this too, that some of you may have seen. But this book, which is 650 feet, 650 pages long, with an appendix of references of 130 pages. That's how complete it is. And it's a book that deals with the fact that his belief that evolution is a reality in our life, and it is evolving always a better being and a better body. And so the whole book is filled with research that's been done primarily in the field of science that affirms the meta activities of a human being. That means activities that are beyond the norm. And I can't begin to share even a bit of what's in there, except to say one thing that I think you'd all be interested in is he talks about the work of Dr. Messner, who was so important in the life of the founder of Christian Science, and Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were very familiar with his work. Messner was also the one that led us into the powerful realization of hypnosis. People are capable of being hypnotized, and in the book, well documented, is the fact that under hypnosis, they have performed almost every kind of surgery you can imagine, with someone having no more than having been hypnotized. They've even done heart surgery in this manner. They have cut off legs if they were necessary when they used only hypnosis. And he adds this portion to the book only to demonstrate the fact that what happens in a person's body and in mind is what they have in mind to begin with in terms of expectations. And that is the key word, I think, that I find running all through his book. And that is that all life is a fulfillment of the expectations that we hold in consciousness. And so whether someone leads you through what's called hypnosis into being convinced of what you are going to expect in your future, or whether it's self-induced by your own commitment to it through affirmation, through disciplined control of your consciousness, every one of us is going to experience in our lives exactly what our expectations are. And so whatever aspect of the study that is involved in our work presently, it always boils back to this simple thought: what are the expectations that you and I have for our life, for our body, and for our being? He talks about, in this book, he talks about a young man who was a Frenchman, and you may have read his book because he wrote a book eventually. At the age of 16, during the occupation of France by the Germans, he led a group of hundreds of young people, teenagers, whom he selected intuitively to participate with them, with being saboteurs of the Germans' work, and also of getting information that was passed on to those who were trying to deal with the occupation force and its problems. His name is Jacques, I don't know how to pronounce this right, Jacques Jusserand. And he was blinded when he was only 8 years old. And out of the experiences that he had and that dealing with his blindness, he discovered the wonderful world within, and also developed such a strength of consciousness that he did this remarkable work that he did. I picked this out of this whole book to share with you because of something that he says in his book. He said, talking about summarizing the truth that he had learned in his life, he said, the first of these, said there were two things that he's learned for sure. The first of these is that joy does not come from outside. For whatever happens to us, it is within. The second truth is that light does not come to us from without. Light is in us, even if we have no eyes. And I love that because this is not a minister on the platform saying these principles. This is someone who speaks from having lived a dramatic, successful life from a standpoint of being totally blind to what the world is feeding back to us and getting it all from within, and discovering that by getting that from within, the light of understanding and of knowing, it's like he was so intuitive that they let his decision of who they would have amongst the teenagers work with them, because he could tell from within whether they were reliable, adult enough to do the work. The light is within. Real knowing comes from within. So, when you and I think about preparing ourselves to celebrate Christmas again, to appreciate the magnificence of the life and example of Jesus, and also knowing that in the celebration of Christmas, we are rooted in the realization that it is our ultimate evolution, that you and I, too, would take on the Christ spirit. And to realize that we're not going to do that from without. That is, we're not going to get more joyous by running around creating joyous experiences. I mean, it helps to have demonstrations of great prosperity and great healings and all, but unless they are something that are anchored and coming from within ourselves, we haven't really got it. But we can have it because, again, you don't have to get it from having it out here and now you've got it, but you have it from having it within yourself. And so someone said, "Oh, all right, I get it within myself." How do I get it? You get it the unity way, and that is you work at disciplining yourself through affirmations and denials and realizing they're not just nice things to do that you do at church when everybody says, "Let's speak this word together." It's something that you and I have to do over and over again within ourselves in our meditation times. When we get still and feel the reality of the potential that is within us, in that quietness, we begin to speak the words that we want our own thoughts to, in time, become spontaneous within us. I am the Christ. I am the child of God. I am perfect love. I am joyous. Not will be joyous. I am joyous. I choose to be joyous. I choose to be loving now. I don't wait for a person or people to bring joy or rather love into my life. I am loving now, and I am loved now. I am prosperous now. I don't wait till I win the lottery. I am prosperous now, and I feel it deep within myself. And as I said that word to you, deep within myself, I find myself realizing, as I'm sure I've shared with you before, that the power that lies within ourselves comes primarily from the heart. You see, we get things in the intellect, but they don't seem to sometimes register in our lives only because they're not coming from our heart. They're still only in our head, in our intellect. And so we have to work with these thoughts such as, I am joyous, I am loving, until we feel it moving, as it were, from our head to our hearts. As I've shared with you before, I'm sure, when they study the movement in the embryo within the mother's womb, they find that the first organ that seems to clearly register life is not the brain, it's the heart. And so we have to constantly work to move from our head to our heart and to work with these ideas until we own them. Has nothing to do with what's in the outer is impacting us. It's we are impacting our outer because we own the things that will come into our outer lives. Well, I bless you on this Advent Sunday, and I give thanks that our lives are in divine order as this ministry is. It's an interesting thing that when we are experiencing our lack of communication and our Zoom here in Reno, or rather your Zoom in Sacramento, our little church here in Reno is having the same problem. They're not able to Zoom today either. So there's something in the atmosphere, but it's all coming from within us, right? So we decree divine order. God bless you all. Thank you for letting me be a part of your lives today. Bye.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. And since you will be speaking next week also on Zoom, I hope you continue your lesson of joy because we also will be celebrating joy. All right, so now's our time to take our love offering in our hand. People on Zoom, home, if you have sent us something, that is wonderful. We bless you for that. But take whatever in your hand and know that your prosperity is so much more than what you are holding or is in your wallet or your bank account. Your beliefs and thoughts about abundance manifest itself in every area of your life. We know that we give in love because we love to give. God is the source, and we are the channel. So let's make this a personal affirmation. I give in love because I love to give. God is the source, and I am the channel. Go ahead, Sharon. I'm going to come over here. Oh, got a little nutcracker. I was ready for you to go on to that next page, Sharon. Thank you so much. And it always, thank you so much. These offerings are blessed and we are blessed by your generosity. We are grateful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, ushers. And before we end, we also have a lot of thank yous to do today. I am very grateful that your patience of everyone here in the room for hanging out with us as we're working through these technical issues, and everyone on Zoom, thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. If you had been here at 9:10 watching him go through option after option after option, we are so blessed to have you, Eric. Thank you so much. Thank you. And between the power of iPhones and a laptop and you in divine order, with Esther putting divine order on the tree, it came together. Thank you, Karen, for putting the books out. We appreciate it so much. Thank you, Sharon, for your music, for your gift of song. And it is most appreciated. And thank you for your solo today. And thank you, everyone. All right, so now's the time we're going to stand and form a circle, and we're going to sing What Else But Our Love Song. And for those of you on Zoom, please remember to unmute when we say our prayer for protection. Okay. I'm going to go stand next to Sharon. Oh, okay. Okay, you don't need me for this part, everybody. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You never know.
Thank you, Sharon.
My goodness gracious. Bye, Kathy.
Hi.
Bye.